is on us to decide for ourselves. So I think, in a sense, you know, Nietzsche's a precursor to the existentialists in that way. So the point is that we for us to rise above the bovine masses, as it were, it is our responsibility to do this. It's our decision. So the Übermensch is somebody who decides for themselves. I kind of agree with you about aesthetics, but I don't think aesthetics is the whole of it. I think aesthetics is not the only way one could fulfill oneself as an Übermensch necessarily. So I think it's
It is.
But a way of becoming.
It's not a way. For Nietzsche, there is not a way. And he says in aphorism 219, Gay Science, he says, what is needed? I mean, this is his philosophy in a nutshell, really. It's probably the most powerful aphorism. What is needed is to give style to one's character. To give style to one's character. This is a very rare and fine art, which is pursued by the ones who are ready to discover their strengths and weaknesses, and then give them an artistic plan in which even the ugly will please the eye. I mean, this is 1,000 pages can be written on this single aphorism, and it's not even the whole aphorism. It's only maybe first few lines. So to give the style, one has to be satisfied with himself, says Nietzsche. Otherwise, we have an enemy. What it means to give style? Style is purely aesthetic. To organize your strengths and weaknesses and give them an artistic plan in which even the ugly will please the eye. There is no other way.
So you're claiming then that therefore there is some kind of objective means. If you're claiming that if you're saying this is the way of...
No, I'm saying that Nietzsche said, what is needed is to give style to one's character.
Okay.
One's character.
No, I'm not
what is objective in one's? I'm just following the syntaxis, the logic of the sentence. To give the style to one's character. Very rare and fine art. Rare means not many people do it. Fine means, wow, this is something that is not really everyday's thing. But then, practice only by one who are able to reach to their strengths and weaknesses. Who is the one who looks for his own weaknesses?
Well, Aristotle,
I don't many.
Wouldn't Aristotle say almost the same thing, which is to say that you as a rational animal have your strengths and weaknesses, and if you want to flourish, you ought, I mean, even Socrates would say the same thing, of course, that you ought know the might of your own body and the strength of your own mind, and you ought to compensate for your own weaknesses. And the objectivity is in the objectivity of those things. I mean, people actually have strengths and weaknesses. One can't design one's strengths and weaknesses. One has to accept the fact of them. I mean, even under Nietzsche there. You can't take an ugly person and have them pretend they're beautiful. That is to deny their nature, right? So there has to be an objectivity of nature.
You can't do that, but that person has to do that himself.
Correct.
There is nothing external with Nietzsche. Nietzsche is not a model maker. He's a perspectivist.
He may also be a hypocrite.
Anything.
Correct.
But as you said, precursor of existentialism.
But, okay, my point is this.
Absolutely, yes.
My point is this, that for some people the aesthetic might be the ultimate way of fulfillment.
Okay.
But I'm not sure that's true from a Nietzschean perspective for all.
No. He's not. I said it already. He's not an elitist. Egalitarian philosophy. Nietzsche is concerned about higher people.
No, you misunderstand. I don't mean for all that what I mean is some Übermensch might be the aesthetic, for others it might be the intellectual and so on. So I don't think there's one goal that all Übermensch would be aiming for. Because if there was, then that would be saying almost like there is this objective thing that all people should aim for. And you've argued so far that it's subjective, I think.
No, it's not. As I mentioned, Julian Young, who has made all his philosophical victories criticizing Nietzsche on implementing illusion and therefore failing to justify life in the birth of tragedy. But Nietzsche says clearly, only as an aesthetic phenomenon the world and existence can be justified. Meaning further down the road that affirmation of life is not possible without aesthetic phenomena.
So would you say
So,
that this is
here's-
something that holds for everybody then, or all Uber?
Well, I'm not saying that. He is saying that. Right?
Your
I'm saying
interpretation
what
of
he's
Nietzsche.
saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And what I say is different. But the thing is that he doesn't see rational only, epistemically only warranted world. He thinks it's not possible to justify world only rationally, only with an intellect, because Christianity has failed, Kant has failed, Schopenhauer has failed. He said he has that. This is his inheritance, philosophical inheritance. He tries to defend Schopenhauer in the beginning, but he gets rid of him because it is impossible. You have to. I mean, on the end of the day, look, we're all gonna die, right? And I can make anybody depressed in 2 minutes. Seriously, it's not a big deal. Yeah, seriously, yeah. You're gonna die, suffering, this, that. Life is not worth living. People, there's so many sects and cults around the world. They've proven they're doing that. They convince their members that the life is not worth living, and they commit suicide, all of them, collectively. There are villages in Schopenhauer talks about it. There are villages somewhere in some island, wherever, where people simply kill themselves.
Well,
So,
my experience of those phenomena is that those people believe something more than their life is. They believe the opposite. People
Yeah.
martyr themselves because they believe in an idea too much, not because they believe in life too little.
Yeah, but they are not affirming life that way.
Depends on your point of view. They're not affirming their existence.